You need to stop No Not November, bro. Listen, by the time I was 22, I made thousands of dollars a day in profit with my online business. And I'm not telling you this to flex, it's pointless. I'm telling you that because I learned something that most guys never figure out. Every successful man has massive sexual energy, so that's not the problem. The problem is what they do with it. The guys who make it, they don't waste that energy on pixels and screens. They don't let it control them. They channel it. They redirect it into building businesses, crushing workouts, learning skills that actually make them better. Now, the guys who stay broke, unmotivated, and stuck in the same dead-end routine, they're burning that same energy on dopamine hits that lead absolutely nowhere. They waste it on pixels on a fucking screen. And we've all done it, let's be honest. But that's why we need to talk about No Not November. Because if you do it wrong, you won't stay stuck and broke alongside 99% of men. Look, No Not November started with the right idea. Help men reclaim discipline. Stop wasting sexual energy on stuff that doesn't build your future. I respect that. But somewhere along the way, it turned into just another 30-day trend. Just another self-improvement challenge people do once a year and then forget about on December 1st. People treat it like it's a reset button. Like you can just white knuckle through November, pat yourself on the back, and then go right back to your old habits. That's not a real transformation. That's a diet you quit the second it's over. You don't change your life with monthly challenges. You change it with long-term consistency and standards that don't expire as soon as the calendar flips to a new month. This isn't about surviving for 30 days. It's about building a version of yourself that doesn't need a challenge to stay fucking disciplined. Here's what kills me. Guys say they want success, right? They want money. They want more muscle. They want to attract high-quality women or whatever. They want respect. But when I look at their daily habits, it's scrolling, relapsing, procrastinating, complaining. Their actions almost never match their words. Your daily habits predict your future. Now that's not some motivational fluff, it's reality. If I could watch your average day for just 24 hours, I could tell you exactly where you'll be in 5 years from now. I'm not even joking. That's literally just cause and effect. You want to know why you're not getting results? Look at what you did today. Look at what you did yesterday. Look at what you're gonna do tomorrow. Because those days stack up, and they either stack up into the life you want or the life you're settling for. You can't challenge your way into a new identity. A 30-day dopamine detox doesn't rewire your brain. A month without porn doesn't fix 5 years of programming. You know what does? Systems, habits, standards that you refuse to negotiate with. Real self-control isn't a temporary flex you do once a year for internet points. It's a baseline. It's the foundation everything else is built on. And if you're treating it like an event instead of a lifestyle, you're already setting yourself up to fail. Real men build processes that last, not streaks that reset every December 1st, not challenges they do only when they feel motivated. They build systems that run regardless of how they feel on any given day. They become disciplined. That's the difference between amateurs and pros. Let me be clear about something. Your sexual energy isn't evil or bad in any way, shape, or form. It's not something you need to repress or feel guilty about. It's power. Raw, pure power. The problem is, most guys have no idea how to use it. That same drive that makes you want to release, that tension you feel, that is fuel. That's potential energy sitting there waiting to be redirected. When you channel it into your work, into the gym, into learning something valuable, that tension turns into momentum. Think about it. When you're full of that energy, you feel alive, you feel focused, you feel like you could run through a wall. But most men waste it because nobody ever taught them how to transmute it. They think the only option is suppression or release. But there's a third option, direction. You take that energy and you aim it at your goals. Every time you feel that pull, the urge to relapse, you turn it into reps in the gym, into work sessions, into building a fucking empire. That's not suppression, it's channeling, it's a transformation. If you want to discover how I've made thousands of dollars a day online, I've made a free training that will show you everything step by step. The link will be in the description. And for a limited time, you can also apply to book a free call with me or a member of my team. On that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money, and we'll give you a custom step-by-step plan so you can start your business today, even with $0 in startup capital, and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description, but be quick because we have very limited spots and they fill up fast. Here's what they don't tell you about porn. It gives you dopamine spikes higher than eating junk food, higher than nicotine. Your brain gets absolutely flooded with feel-good chemicals. And then what happens? You keep chasing that high. You need it just to feel normal. That's why you're unmotivated. That's why you're bored. That's why everything feels dull and you can't focus on anything for longer than 5 fucking minutes. Your brain has been hijacked, your baseline destroyed. Now I'll be honest with you, when you first stop, everything feels worse for a little while. Life feels boring because you've been getting artificial highs that nothing else can compete with. But here's what happens if you stick with it. Your baseline resets, your dopamine receptors start to heal, and suddenly, normal life becomes exciting again. Work becomes interesting again. Your goals start actually mattering to you. Basic human connection feels rewarding. You're not chasing fake highs anymore because real life actually feels worth living. Real talk, you're probably going to sleep. Most guys do. And that's actually fine. The difference between people who make it and people who stay stuck isn't being perfect all the time. It's not possible. It's recovery speed. Most guys relapse once and they throw away an entire week of progress. They start spiraling. They say, oh well, I already messed up, so I might as well binge. That's loser mentality. Winners reset instantly. They don't use one mistake as proof they're weak. They use it as a reminder that discipline has to be rebuilt daily. The rent is paid daily. You slip, you relapse, fine. Get up, reset, and keep moving. Don't turn a moment of weakness into a week of destruction. The battle isn't won by never falling. It's won by refusing to stay down. Even the best of the best have bad days sometimes. They just don't let those bad days turn into bad weeks, months, or even years. Can we talk about all these influencers preaching complete celibacy? A lot of these guys are already successful. They're rich, they have millions of followers, they're fit, they have options. It's easy to take broke, average 19-year-olds who never touch themselves again when you're living a completely different reality. The truth is, moderation and control matter way more than fake purity. You're not going to ruin your life by relapsing once or twice in 6 months, but you will ruin it by living in shame or drowning in compulsive guilt every time you're human. The goal isn't inhuman levels of repression. The goal is self-control. The goal is making conscious decisions instead of always being controlled by your impulses and sexual desires. Stop comparing yourself to influencers who cherry-pick their advice after they've already made it. It doesn't fucking apply to you. Look, porn doesn't just steal your time. It also isolates you. It replaces real social connection with fake validation. It destroys your confidence, your eye contact, your drive, and your presence as a man. It makes you a spectator instead of a participant in life. You can't lead if you're getting chemically satisfied by pixels. You can't create, you can't compete. You don't have the drive for those things anymore. You're meant to chase real things, real success, real strength, real love, not illusions on a screen. Every hour you spend in that world is an hour you're not building in your real world. And the scary part? You don't even realize how much it's costing you until you stop. If you want to discover how I've made thousands of dollars a day online, I've made a free training that will show you everything step by step. The link will be in the description. And for a limited time, you can also apply to book a free call with me or a member of my team. On that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money, and we'll give you a custom step-by-step plan so you can start your business today, even with $0 in startup capital, and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description, but be quick because we have very limited spots and they fill up fast. Now, tons of guys relapse because when they try quitting porn, they don't really know why they're trying to quit in the first place. Sexual retention without purpose is just going to lead to frustration. The point isn't just to not release, it's to transmute that energy into something that builds your future. Use it to go harder in the gym, focus longer on your business, learn faster, create more. Every time you resist a cheap dopamine hit, your willpower gets stronger. You train it like a muscle so it becomes stronger. Over time, that energy becomes this quiet, focused aggression, the kind successful men carry without ever needing to announce it. You know that feeling when you're around someone who just has presence, charisma, and they're not even speaking or being loud. That's what this creates. It's not loud or showy, but it's undeniable confidence and mastery. Here's the real secret to consistency. You need a mission, a vision so big that temptation becomes irrelevant. When you're building a business, when you're developing a skill that's going to change your life, when you're creating a legacy, you don't have time to chase cheap dopamine. You're too busy building an actual life instead of escaping into fake ones. That's the difference. Guys with no mission, no purpose need distractions because they're not building anything worth protecting. But when you have something real you're working toward, a real mission, something that lights you up inside, When you have standards you refuse to compromise, temptation loses its power over you. You're not resisting anymore. You're just focused on something much bigger. So stop looking at No Nut November like it's the goal. It's not. The goal is becoming someone who doesn't need a challenge to stay disciplined. Someone who redirects their energy instead of wasting it. Someone who builds systems, not streaks. Your future you is watching your current choices all the time, so make them count. If you want me to personally help you to level up your finances, build a profitable online business so you can have fuck you money and just enjoy life like most people will never get to, check out the link in the description below, and I'll see you on the other side.